James doesn't say a lot, are going to go over different transfer credit questions that we've received over the years or recently. If you guys have any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat, and we're watching to answer those for you. And until then, I will go through some questions that we've received in the past. So one of our questions that we received is, do my grades transfer with my college courses? What do you think, James? So in most cases, yes. The general rule is that schools will accept a C for credit or towards your degree. Some will accept D's. It just depends on your school. And then there are schools that don't take your F's. So if you received an F at ICC and we're nervous about that transferring, there are some schools that don't put them on your transcript. They don't accept them, and there are those that do. So you just want to check with your transfer institution, but the general rule is that your grades do transfer with your classes. Probably the most common question we get is, will all of my courses transfer? Any ideas? So what's important to remember about your courses is that what courses will transfer and count towards your degree at your next college. So you could take a class at ICC. Say you came to ICC and you're interested in education. So you took Intro to Education, and then you transferred to K-State and realized that you wanted to be a marketing major. Well, K-State may accept that Intro to Education credit, but it's not going to count towards your degree. So we work really hard at ICC to make sure that you guys are exploring, but also making sure that you are taking classes that will count when you move on to your next school. Are there any questions in the chat yet? I don't see any yet. Okay. Is there a max number of courses or credits that I can transfer out or transfer to my next school? So an institution can limit the number of credits that they accept. At ICC, for students that transfer to us, we will accept up to 45 credit hours of transfer credit. And that is the same for many universities. When you move on from ICC, they accept a certain number. A lot of times it's between 70 and 90. It just depends on your transfer school. That's also, there are many reasons why it's important to take your credits, be mindful about what you're taking, and graduate and move on, because at some point, a lot of those credits are not going to go on to your next school and or count towards your degree at that next school. So do some courses transfer better than others? It really just depends on your school. Obviously, there are some classes, a lot of times we refer to them as general education courses. Those are going to be courses that transfer almost seamlessly to universities. ICC offers a lot of those. We've worked diligently on our liberal studies degree plans, all of our degree plans. Liberal studies is really set up as a good transfer degree program to make sure that you're getting your core classes and meet requirements for the lower division courses when you move on to your transfer school. There is a good way to be able to check those within the state of Kansas. So Kansas has a KBOR system-wide, or a Kansas system-wide transfer program that the Kansas Board of Regents helps us with. And this should pop up onto the screen soon, the transfer portal. And you can go on there and look and see what ICC class will transfer to a Kansas school as what. So if you had general psychology BEH 1003 at ICC, you can look how it will transfer to Pittsburgh State University, how it will transfer to K-State. A lot of times you'll want to really pay attention to that, and we at ICC help you with that, making sure general biology, that you're in the right biology class that you need to move on. that you're in the right chemistry, the right math class to meet requirements at your university. So that's a really awesome tool that Kansas offers. And we update it regularly. The faculty members meet every year to look at a certain number of courses. They look at the course descriptions to see that they're all matching, that they're kind of teaching the same stuff, so that there's no questions that come up. Now, if a school ever questioned how a class would transfer, there are some solutions for that, James. So we can provide a syllabus for that course to your university for them to review and check what was taught in that class. That's how people transfer stuff in. We know that Gen Psych is the same Gen Psych because your course description is the same and your course outcomes. So it's also a good idea to keep your syllabi because then you can just provide it right then and can move more quickly through that process if a school should question anything. Let's see, what else? So does it make a difference if I just take a few classes or if I earn my associate's degree? What's the benefit of getting my associate's? So obviously you can come to ICC and just take a few courses and move on to your university a semester or two and move on. Or you could choose to stay with us, earn around 60 credit hours and earn your associate's degree and move on to your transfer school. The benefit to that is that your transfer school may say, oh, you have your associates. We're not even going to look at your gen eds. We're going to say that you met our gen ed requirements and can go straight into your majors classes. So if you were an education major, you could move straight into your methods classes versus having to take a US history class. They're going to say, oh, you met your requirements, you're good to go. Not all schools do that. It's not across the board, but that is definitely one benefit to earning your associates. And then the second one would be that you're already more marketable when you're looking for jobs. So even working on your university campus and you've already earned your associate's degree, that could help you get a different type of position within the school and more money. Thank you, James. Let's see, what else? Are there any other questions in the chat yet? You have any other questions, James? So if you look on ICC's website, there is a list of our articulation agreements. And this is pretty comprehensive. Every once in a while, we may have one that we need to update or we've received a new one, and that should appear on your screen now. So articulation agreements are things that we have set up with different universities to make sure that stuff transfers seamlessly for you. Our navigators follow those plans to make sure that you are taking the classes that are required in that articulation agreement and or a 2+2 agreement with that school. So there's that list up there and you can see that we have quite a few. And if you have questions about those, you can always contact me or your navigator to see what that might look like for you. I have provided a link here to another website about transfer credits, and it kind of summarizes what we went over today, and it should be appearing now. There's a separate service that goes with that website that could be useful for some students as far as keeping track of your transfer credits, but I really just like the questions that it asked and kind of summarizes what we went over today. So I think, unless we have any more questions, that summarizes transfer credits. It is transfer credits are always something that you want to be mindful of and watch with your navigator or your advisor at another school. But courses do transfer, they transfer well, and we are all here to make sure that you get what you need before you move on to your next school. Thank you for joining me, Captain. I think we're done.